They have been completely taken aback by the consequences of their choice to come into contact with you, and they are raging with their rage when they learn that nobody cared to warn them about what occurs when someone decides to screw with you. The anger and frustration that they feel that they are experiencing is palpable. Presently, they are coping with consequences that they had not anticipated, and they are asking why everyone else in their immediate environment remained silent about your ability to react when provoked. They are discovering the hard way what others already knew. There are certain individuals who you simply do not test, and you happen to be at the top of that list. You've been in situations where people disregarded your observations, only to later observe how events transpired precisely as you had said they would. Individuals who later encountered events that were so closely connected with their disrespect toward you that even skeptics talked about cosmic intervention, said that you were underestimated by individuals who later confronted those conditions. Because the pattern occurs so frequently, you have reached the point where it is practically unremarkable to you at this point. Because it resonates at frequencies that only some souls are able to detect, the thunder that is within you does not have to crash. It serves as a warning system for those who are clever enough to listen to it, and it serves as a death nail for those who are ignorant enough to disregard it. This is a reality that resonates with each and every cell in your body. Take note of the fact that those who make an effort to cause you harm appear to encounter unforeseen challenges. The co-worker who attempted to undermine you suddenly finds themselves under scrutiny. The friend who betrayed your confidence experiences a cascade of secrets that are exposed. The family member who disregarded your boundaries watches their own life become constrained with limitations. These are not isolated occurrences. Rather, they constitute a pattern that is too persistent to be the result of random chance. Even though you are aware of it, you are not completely aware of the force field that surrounds you. It is a protection system that is woven into the fabric of your existence, and it acts independently of your conscious will. Others who come forward with good intentions are able to pass through without being hurt, while others who are harboring malicious intentions are able to run away and ricochet into their own demise. In order to activate, the shield does not require your consent. It is able to identify potential dangers before your conscious mind even becomes aware of them. The tendency of your adversaries to engage in self-destruction continues to be one of the most consistent constants in life. In most cases, you will not have to take any action against them. The instant they decide to take action against you, their own activities will turn into quicksand just beneath their feet. Observe how they fail to succeed without your assistance, how their plans fail to succeed due to their own weight, and how their alliances break down precisely when they require support the most. The manifestation of this protection is not the result of luck or coincidence. Rather, it originates from the fact that you walk in sync with cosmic forces that recognize your purpose. The reason that your journey is significant in ways that go beyond common comprehension is the reason that your path continues to be obvious. The continuation of your existence is a priority for the cosmos. Throughout the course of human history, there have been particular people who have carried this distinctive energy. It is important to remember how Nikola Tesla was ridiculed before his genius became indisputable. You may remember how they disregarded Cassandra's prophecies until they came to fruition in a manner that was utterly catastrophic. This pattern is not limited to historical characters. It stretches all the way towards you. This pattern will repeat itself throughout your entire life. Underestimating something, followed by severe regret. People tend to disregard your perceptions until reality substantiates them with such a high degree of accuracy that coincidence is no longer an adequate explanation. Until your sensitivity detects risks that subsequently damage individuals who ignored your warnings, they label you as being overly sensitive. You are referred to as dramatic unless the circumstances develop just as you have described them. In the same way that gravity is a force that does not require belief in order to function, the cosmic law acts with mathematical accuracy, governing boundary crossings and retribution in the same way. In the event that it is activated, their disbelief regarding this principle just serves to heighten their astonishment. Some people gain knowledge by witnessing what happens to other people who mistreat them. Those who are more experienced recognize the pattern and modify their behavior accordingly. However, for every individual who acknowledges the norm, another individual arrives to test the bounds of the rule. Those who are in need of challenging lessons should not be discouraged, because the universe offers an infinite number of possibilities to learn. You are aware of the precise moment when their eyes expand with comprehension, that moment of recognition when they finally comprehend who it is that they have been dealing with the entire time. Their facial expressions change from one of arrogance to one of astonishment to one of terror in a short amount of time. The color disappears from their faces as the implications become more apparent. If these times weren't so well tuned to their activities, they might nearly be able to elicit feelings of concern and sympathy. If they are shocked, it is not because of you. Rather, it is because they are confronting their own grave misjudgment. For weeks, months, or even years, they operated under a false assumption about your nature. They created entire plans based on that error throughout the entirety of their operations. At this moment, reality brings their frail foundation crashing down, which necessitates an uncomfortable recalibration. You're not here by chance. Feel the pull? Tap, join to unlock truth, purpose, and a tribe that gets it. This is more than a membership, it's your calling. There is an abundance of anecdotes in historical archives about influential figures who were once disregarded as being of no consequence. Before he was able to separate the oceans, Moses was a stutterer. Before she became a military commander, Joan of Arc was a young girl from a rural background. In this legacy of those who are underappreciated and who subsequently show dimensions that break restricted perceptions, you are a part of the tradition, an accounting system that functions with perfect memory and unerring precision, records every slight, every dismissal, and every attempt to lessen your light. This system is a cosmic accounting system. It is never necessary to offer evidence or construct cases against people who have wronged you, since time reveals all realities with a level of thoroughness that cannot be matched by human record. It is via the occurrence of strange coincidences that you are repeatedly vindicated without your cooperation. Eventually, when the exact solution that you proposed becomes required, the supervisor who first rejected your plan will be embarrassed. It is certain that the partner who questioned your intuition will soon face the precise circumstance that you foresee occurring. As the events unfold, the person who had doubts about your perception watches as they corroborate your exact determination. The nature of global law is shown by this regular pattern of vindication that occurs without your direct involvement. Truth is not something that needs to be defended. Rather, it just continues to exist until recognition is unavoidable. Your experiences are not validated because you were able to successfully argue for them. Rather, they are validated when reality eventually corresponds with what you previously understood. In situations where the results speak with such clarity, explanations are rendered superfluous. What cannot be persuaded by words should be revealed by time, and what cannot be shown by arguments should be demonstrated by situations. Observing someone go through the very same thing that they have attempted to inflict upon you is a particularly satisfying experience. The backstabbers are suddenly surrounded by treachery. The manipulator finds themselves outmaneuvered, and the liar is entangled in their own deceptions. This leads to the emergence of poetic symmetry, which occurs when their own strategies circle back to them with perfect accuracy. An almost artistic quality can be seen in the divine choreography of these times. However, this is not about exacting revenge. Rather, it is about re-establishing the natural order. There is a part of you that acknowledges the mathematical perfection of these times. You are able to keep your cool on the outside while simultaneously acknowledging the universal law's immaculate execution on the inside. Your discipline speaks volumes. The fact that you have chosen not to gloat reveals that you have a great awareness of how cosmic forces function. The fact that they brought these circumstances upon themselves by the decisions they made with regard to you is nonetheless an irony. In the event that they had approached the situation with honesty, different results would have been achieved. Had they been able to precisely discern your nature, they would have been able to avoid the situation that they are currently in. Your quiet throughout their fall from grace says more than any words could ever convey. It demonstrates that you are aware that intervening would be both unneeded and wrong. These repairs are handled by the universe, and your input is not required during this process. It is not your responsibility to punish. Rather, it is your responsibility to witness the natural consequences unfolding in accordance with the unchangeable principles that govern all reality. Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Imagine a faithful shepherd standing atop a hill, staff in hand, his sheep safe within a sturdy stone wall no wolf can breach. That wall is God's protective promise around you, chosen one, a living barrier that holds strong against every threat. Folks, here's the deal. Others keep a watchful eye on everything. They keep track of what happens to those who wrong you. They see the pattern even when no one speaks a word. Whispers float from heart to heart. Be careful around that one. Never get on their bad side. Strange things happen to folks who cross them. Those warnings spread all on their own, building an unseen fence of safety around your boundaries. Your reputation isn't built by your own announcements. It's woven through the fabric of lived experience. People observe how events unfold, and they pass the word. I saw what happened when someone tried to take advantage of them. They might ignore those cautions at first, but after witnessing the fallout, they become your fiercest advocates for respect. Their doubt melts into conviction, and that conviction becomes a shield for you. I'm telling you, this isn't magic or rumor. It's divine order at work. Just as a mighty oak stands firm through every storm, your character stands as proof that injustice meets its match. Every whispered warning, every shared story, every lesson learned without a single boast from you testifies to a power far greater than circumstance. So lean into it. Let your walk of faith be the stone wall that keeps wolves away. Trust that every whispered caution, every glance of awareness from friends or strangers is part of a heavenly design, keeping you secure. You don't have to shout it from the rooftops. Your life will do the preaching for you. Keep your head high, your heart steady, and watch as this silent army of protectors continues to build your fortress of favor. If your heart overflows with God's blessings, let that love shine. Click the super thank you button and give $20 or more to plant seeds of faith that will impact countless lives. Your generosity reflects his abundance. Be a vessel of his grace and watch his kingdom flourish through you. They approach you with a hunger that is camouflaged as friendship, criticism that is disguised as concern, and manipulation that is concealed as partnership. They are energy vampires who have identified something in your field that they need, such as your creativity, your stability, your clarity, and your connection to the source. They are making an effort to extract what they are unable to produce on their own. Watch what happens to the people who targeted you. The co-worker who grabbed credit for your ideas and then watch their reputation disintegrate. The friend who spread stories and suddenly found themselves with credibility challenges. The family member who discounted your accomplishments and experienced a curious reversal of their own success. Their systems are unable to process what they have taken. The same energy that they intended to steal turns into poison, which causes a decline that cannot be explained by either medical or psychological means. In the end, whenever you make an effort to lower your light, you end up burning people through mechanisms that are beyond the ordinary comprehension. Without requiring any action on your part, the cosmos ensures that it is always in perfect equilibrium. The scales are adjusted with such precision that even the smallest of infractions is adequately compensated for by the proper amount of counterweight. Not a single thing is overlooked, unrecorded, or underappreciated in any way. The mathematics that underpins this system operates at a level of complexity that is beyond the powers of human calculation. Those who have harmed you now face repercussions that are proportional to the wrongdoing they have committed. It is neither too early or too late for their lessons to arrive. Rather, they arrive at the precise moment that is best for the greatest amount of realization. During this divine accounting, aspects that are not obvious to ordinary perception are taken into consideration. These factors include the motive behind actions, awareness of possible harm, opportunities for course correction that were missed, and patterns of behavior that have been created. The computations take into account variables that are beyond the capacity of humans to monitor. When you observe these patterns occurring with such regularity in your environment, even skeptics start to worry about them. People who consider cosmic justice to be nothing more than a superstition have a difficult time explaining the precise association that exists between actions taken toward you and further events. Because of the growing number of examples, it is becoming increasingly difficult to refute the statistically improbable notion that these links could have occurred by chance. Observe their desperate efforts to alter history when the repercussions of their actions become apparent. Unexpectedly, they assert that they were misunderstood rather than malicious. Rather of presenting themselves as the architects of their condition, they contend that their acts were taken out of context and that they were victims of circumstance. Underneath their paper-thin explanations, their revisionist efforts reveal a panicked state of mind. They do not seek connection until after they have determined that independence is not sufficient. It is only after opposition has shown to be costly that they seek alliance. The only time they acknowledge your worth is after they have denied it and extracted an intolerable price. The accolade is delivered at the most inopportune time for them, which is a cosmic timing that guarantees the most possible impact. The impact of the realization would have been less significant if it had occurred sooner. In the event that respect had been cultivated organically, the lesson would have been less memorable. This orchestration of these times has instructional reasons that extend beyond the present circumstances. Their enlightenment through desperation becomes a marker for those who are traveling down routes that are comparable to their own. Certain individuals continue to be impervious to these patterns that are readily apparent. Even if they see other people suffer the repercussions of crossing you, they are able to convince themselves that they will experience different outcomes. In addition to providing obvious instances, their unusual blindness also helps viewers better understand the relationship between cause and effect. A mathematical development is followed by this cycle of recurrent transgression, followed by a result that can be predicted. Each cycle amplifies both the clarity of the message and the cost of ignoring it, and the severity of each iteration increases in proportion to the degree to which the individual is resistant to the course of instruction. By demonstrating the repercussions in a way that is unmistakably clear, their unwavering dedication to methods that have been disproven helps to spare others from pain that is more than necessary. One of the most fundamental aspects of your power is the fact that you are completely undeterred by the desire to exact revenge. It is never necessary for you to take responsibility for the repercussions that those who have wronged you will face. You do not have to spend your efforts to plotting retribution or chasing justice. This allows you to concentrate on creating rather than correcting, as the cosmos executes these functions with an efficiency that is beyond anything that a human being could accomplish. Those who are caught up in cycles of retribution are unable to comprehend the peace that this release bestows due to its incomparable tranquility. You concentrate your energy into growth and expansion, moving forward without the burden of duty for balancing scales, while others exhaust themselves in the pursuit of payback. The experience of watching natural justice occur without your intervention enables you to gain a more elevated perspective. You are able to spot patterns that are too persistent to be a coincidence, yet they are also too complicated to accept as simple. You are a living incarnation of cosmic principle, a manifestation of mess around and find out, acting at quantum levels. You are a living embodiment of cosmic principle. Your own existence gives other people the opportunity to either live in accordance with natural law or to undergo recalibration. You did not create these characteristics. Rather, you embody them when you inherit them from your ancestors and make a soul pact with them. The reason why interference with your journey causes consistent results is explained by this specific signature. The universe acknowledges that your particular frequency is necessary to fulfill the requirements of the current evolutionary process. There is a lineage of souls that have been marked, and the journeys of these souls receive special attention from the cosmos. Due to the fact that this designation confers both privilege and duty, it comes with extraordinary assistance, as well as higher expectations. The same factors that make your path clear and help you maintain a sense of equilibrium are also the ones that hold you to standards that go beyond what is typically expected of you. Certain dormant coding in your system has been triggered as a result of recent global shifts. A growing number of capabilities that were not available in the past are now becoming available online, and impressions that were earlier considered to be merely imaginative are now proving to be correctly accurate. Your thoughts and the events that occur in the outside world are connected in ways that indicate connections that are greater than the statistical probability. People going through procedures that are comparable to yours recognize you without having to communicate explicitly. Mechanisms that go beyond the typical sensory pathways allow for the transmission of subtle acknowledgements between persons who have just been aroused. The development of these silent networks is facilitated by the sharing of experiences that are difficult to articulate using conventional verbal frameworks. The acceleration proceeds regardless of the circumstances inside the environment or the desires of the individual. The timeline therefore moves forward in accordance with the requirements of the macrocosm rather than the convenience of the microcosm. Your participation was founded by agreements that were made beyond your current conscious recollection when you were younger. Your voyage is being watched by certain beings who are very interested in it. These observers keep an eye on your progress by utilizing perceptual mechanisms that are able to cross dimensional boundaries. The attention they are paying to you is an indication of your value within structures that are beyond human comprehension. Your knowledge of being watched is not a sign of paranoia. Rather, it is a proper sense of the fact that you are being observed. The sensation that eyes that are not visible to you are following your motions is a manifestation of true attention from consciousnesses that operate beyond the mechanisms of detection that are typically used. The fact that you are performing for an audience that is not present acknowledges the existence of real witnesses to your evolutionary path. It is because of your participation in some evolutionary experiments that are currently being conducted on Earth that the observers are interested in you. Your one-of-a-kind configuration provides access to information that is pertinent to questions concerning the development of awareness under specific kinds of restrictions. Having successfully navigated difficult situations, you have provided information that is vital to comprehending potential alternative adaptation pathways. The challenges that are directed specifically at you, the people who underestimated you, the obstacles that appeared to be insurmountable until they were overcome by unexpected intervention, the support that arrived from sources that were not anticipated, and the losses that later revealed themselves to be essential redirections are all things that unfold according to a precise design. All of the sequence points, when viewed from an appropriate perspective, come together to construct a narrative that is consistent. With each seemingly random contact, certain growth goals are advanced. With each seeming setback, you remove paths that are not aligned with your best trajectory. And with each connection, you introduce elements that are important for following phases. When several sequence points are examined concurrently, only then will the choreography of your experiences become evident to you. The ultimate revelation goes beyond merely vindicating your actions. You function as a conscious focal point where numerous dimensions influences converge to produce particular field effects. Because of your very presence, probability fields are altered, which in turn affects the collective developmental trajectories. You were never a random occurrence. Your experiences were never fruitless. Your suffering served reasons that went beyond your own personal development. And your presence performs functions that are important to the requirements of the current evolutionary process. The reason the cosmos protects you is not because you are unique. Rather, it protects you because you are essential or essential.